Escobar's hitman words as stated in Mirror Code, "You have to understand I was a professional killer. Whenever I took a life I didn't feel anything. Not shame, not sadness, not happiness. It was simply like a day at the office carrying out Don Pablo's orders." Today I'm going to talk about this man who said this barely. Let's begin. Jhon Jairo Velásquez Vásquez, additionally known by the nickname Popeye, or JJ, was a Colombian assassin who was important for the criminal construction of the Medellín Cartel. The Medellín Cartel was a strong and exceptionally coordinated Colombian drug cartel, terrorist, and criminal association that arose in the city of Medellín, Colombia, that was established and driven by Pablo Escobar. Popeye got his epithet from an early stretch as a mariner and his pointedly projecting jaw. Velásquez was distinguished as one of the preeminent hired gunmen of the Medellín Cartel. He admitted to 257 individual killings involved in the capturing of the mayor of Bogota, Andres Pastrana Arango, who became president. Another capturing of Francisco Santos, hijacking and murdering of Colombian lawmaker Carlos Moros. He was additionally involved in the killing of 3,000 people. He also assisted with establishing the plane bombing that killed 110 individuals. Without really any touch of regret, Popeye killed any individual who should have been killed. From his then sweetheart to the bombarding of a business carrier where 107 individuals kicked the bucket, nobody was beyond reach. He says he essentially did Escobar's request. Silver-haired and delicately spoken, Popeye doesn't look like he would strike dread into men. He was a nearby partner of Escobar, who ran a drug-dealing domain from the Colombian city of Medellín that sent a huge number of huge loads of cocaine to the US. Escobar's medication realm made him one of the world's most extravagant men during the 1980s and 1990s. He was killed by Colombian police in 1993 as he endeavored to stay away from the removal to the US. Popeye said to Bo once, "In The Rock, turn around and kiss the dark record burial place of his late chief and companion, Colombian drug dealer Pablo Escobar." He headed out in another direction from Escobar's blood-stained Medellín Cartel in 1992, and subsequent to carrying out a 23-year jail punishment, says he's making a decent attempt to be a renewed person. Yet, this self-admitted enemy of many individuals actually harbors affectionate recollections of one who approached him 30 years prior and welcomed him into a universe of excitement, interest, viciousness, and abundance he could have longed for. According to GulfNews.com, Escobar's hitman said Pablo Escobar Gaviria was a murderer, a terrorist, a drug trafficker, a kidnapper, and an extortionist. But he was my friend. Popeye was Escobar's boss, sicario, or hired gunman, during the bloodiest time of the Medellín Cartel's reign during the 1980s. He met him while functioning as a projector for a Colombian belle of the ball. Escobar welcomed him to his home one night and Popeye came over. He came up to converse with Popeye when Popeye was 23 years old and requested to work for him. "I'm a professional killer, not a psychopath who kills people because he can't help it," he said for himself. Possessing a weapon license, he was recruited as a guardian to one of the King of Cocaine's special. In any case, when the relationship finished, Escobar held Popeye, detecting his loyal nature. The execution reviews were that when he initially met Escobar, it resembled him have seen a god. Escobar had this colossal presence similar to a quality that surrounded him. Popeye added that Escobar had a mind-blowing attraction, yet was exaggeratedly plain. The day Popeye examined the eyes of Pablo Escobar, he knew there and would later kick the bucket to Escobar in case he needed Escobar of how Escobar is depicted in movie form. He was an extremely peaceful man, a companion, and a dad-like a figure. In the entirety of Popeye's years, Escobar never undermined him once. Popeye just got in line. Furthermore, despite the fact that he was not instructed, he had a remarkably keen criminal psyche. He expresses his feelings that Escobar had just realized how individuals work, where Pablo was an extremely conscious man to the individuals who gave it to him. He would catch individuals' brains through the love he could show them, as Escobar never yelled once, never offered inconsiderate comments, anything. He was an unmistakable man. He talked gradually with a great deal of regard, and he looked at everybody without flinching when he addressed them. Velásquez surrendered himself to the administrations in 1992 and went through 23 years in jail, allegedly acquiring a standing for the tales he told with regards to his life of wrongdoing. From 1992 until 2014, Velásquez carried out a jail punishment on charges of psychological warfare, drug dealing, blackmail, terrorist activities, and murder. He had gotten a sentence of 30 years and the most extreme accommodated under Colombian reformatory law. After his delivery, he began a YouTube channel called Repentant, Aside from being a dubious figure, Velásquez was a YouTuber character who transferred recordings. In these recordings, he assessed several points of Colombia, such as poor governance and finance difficulties. He was working on a TV series because of his own life and his association in the Medellín Cartel. Then at that point in 2017, Netflix delivered a show series called Surviving Escobar, which depends on the book composed by Velásquez. He was included in the 2018 narrative series debut of Dark Tourist. Velásquez stars in a 2019 film Hitman by ex-sicario Pablo Escobar, played Simon, the most feared hitman who worked for Pablo Escobar. The film recounts a story in which Simon opposes the new controller of the mafia in Medellín. Escobar's hitman says he was ransacked in Colombia's second biggest city, Medellín. Two men on motorbikes pulled up close by him as he was driving on his vehicle. They pointed weapons at him and denied him of his extravagant image glasses, 2 gold wristbands, and a cell phone, he said. Velásquez said it was the second time he had been designated in such a manner, yet police said he had not detailed the episodes. He said the equivalent had happened to him a couple of months back, yet around then he had figured out how to push one of the looters over with his vehicle. Velásquez said that this time he didn't set up any obstruction since his legal advisor had encouraged him to ensure he remained inside the law. Well, debate kept on whirling around Velásquez following his delivery from jail. On December 12, 2016, a video showed Velásquez waves and discharged a handgun in the roads of Medellín. In the video, Velásquez gladly states, "Hello warriors, I'm here in the streets of my beloved Medellín, testing out my beautiful 9mm Petro Beretta. We're firing it. It's a doll, a beauty. He didn't change his way even after spending 22 years in jail." In the wake of having been conceded to the clinic for a month, on 23 December 2019, Velásquez was moved for well-being reasons from the greatest security jail of Valledupar to La Pacoda jail in Bogota. On January 8, 2020, it was reported that Velásquez had terminal esophageal cancer and that he had, all things considered, a couple of months left to live. He died on February 6, 2020 in Bogota at the age of 57. Both Escobar and Popeye didn't just kill thousands of people, they also helped hundreds. But they were loved by the public. Escobar was a legend to numerous in Medellín, particularly to poor people. He was a characteristic at advertising and he attempted to make altruism among the poor of Colombia. A long-lasting avid supporter, he was credited with building football fields and multi-sports courts just as supporting youngsters' football teams. Escobar was likewise answerable for the development of houses and football fields in western Colombia, which acquired his prominence among the poor. He endeavored to develop his Robin Hood picture and every now and again circulated cash through lodging projects and other urban exercises, which acquired him outstanding prevalence among local people of the towns that he regularly visited. Some people in Medellín often helped Escobar staying away from the police by refueling his posts, concealing data from specialists, or doing whatever else they could to insure him. Both companions are gone, but they left their footsteps in Medellín. They have been discussed a lot in the past, are being discussed today, and will be in the news tomorrow for making a mind-blowing history. Hope you liked today's video, subscribe to this channel, and comment down below how you see them. Take care.